we?
Are we?
Are we? Yes, let's see if we are. Okay, the link. I was supposed to provide the link, so...
It would be good to have one.
Yeah.
I'll try on the...
Oh yeah, I
YouTube
know.
channel.
Yes, exactly. So, in here, I think we have to wait a second until it indexes.
Like this. Do you remember?
Let me see. Popular, nope. I think we just have to wait a second until it's there. Oh, I see why, because I have to switch it to public.
Yeah.
Yes. Nah, we are just now.
Yeah, it should work now.
Yes.
There is.
So the link.
Okay, great. Yep. we started.
Yep, there we go. There. Okay. So, this is the first stream, our first stream from the Hyperstrange label, and let's see how it unfolds. Okay. Let's try some few things. So, we'll be talking about music for Postal Brain Damage today. So, if you have any questions about the soundtrack itself or the sounds or any questions you might have for us, go ahead and ask. We'll be giving away codes for Postal Brain Damage soundtrack during the stream. So stay tuned. You can grab a few keys once we post it. Yeah. So
And for guys who do not know who we are.
Oh yes,
Kacper and Piotr here.
yes, exactly. Let's just introduce ourselves. So
And we composed the
Music.
soundtrack for Postal Brain Damage.
Yes.
And did the sounds too.
Yes. So yeah. So let's go. Let me just log into the to YouTube so that I can see the chat, and if you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them. We'll do our best
answering.
we'll do our best to answer them. We'll play Postal Brain Damage in the meanwhile. If we come across something that we'd like to talk about in Postal game or soundtrack, we will. But if you'll be having any questions, then just go ahead and ask. Now,
Yeah, and let's start not from the beginning, but maybe one level from each chapter will be fine.
let's pick something.
Yeah, let's say for today. Okay.
Just let me pick
Not
my
acting cocky.
phone.
So, we're starting.
I feel sand up my butt crack. It's just
It's been a while since I played it, so we need to warm up a little. Okay. And yeah, that was really fun level to design music for it.
Yeah, so we had to do something real silly in here. Make sure that it's kind of like a cross between Saving Private Ryan or like this, typical military music, but with a dumb twist. So Kacper did some detuned instruments in here.
Yeah, I found some Vuvuzela.
That's totally
VST,
out of tune, and I think you pitched bend it, I suppose, a bit in here.
Yeah. So it was really fun. and usually I'm not used to making funny music. Let's say I'm usually deadly serious when creating music.
Oh yeah. So I see the question. I mean, it's not related to music, but that's fine. How did you get to the border? That's a good question. Did you play the game?
Okay, I believe I blocked.
Yeah, I think he tried. Oh, you soft locked. No, you hard locked. That's okay. Let's pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you'll just start the. Hey, look, it's not about QAing. It's about music.
Just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. So that's okay.
Yeah, it happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So how did the dude get to the border? I think when you
just restart.
You're caught by the police at the end of the first chapter, and just they jail you for trying to steal the TV. So that's how it goes. I think.
Like developers thought they could hide this from me.
Now it worked as charm.
Perfect.
As it should.
Yep.
Let's say.
Guys, can you tell us? Do you have the sound? Can you hear us well? Like, if technically everything's fine? So, is there no unstuck mechanic? I don't know. I mean, we did music in here, so.
Turned out so well for you now.
Oh, so we have some questions. I see. Do you guys actually prefer making the silly tracks, the psychedelic ambient in the Postal 1 spirit, or the rampage metal tracks? Well, do we prefer? I mean, it's like when you make a soundtrack, it's like your own child.
It doesn't matter what you prefer.
It doesn't matter. It matters what devs prefer. But if you ask which one is the most fun for us, I think I go for the combat tracks because they're more energetic. You get like it's fun when you make this big soundtracks. You make guitars, you mix electronic instruments with it, and that's really cool. And yeah, that's the most fun. But then again, like exploration music and more like mellow music you make is a good way to make to set challenges for yourself.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, that's the point. So the soundtrack for Postal is diverse, and you have to make some discoveries. You have to learn something new in music. You have to basically step out of your comfort zone in making music. So that's the point. Yeah,
exactly that.
So when does the Q&A start? It did start already. So so go ahead and ask us questions. I'll drink my own tea when we get 100 questions. We might have a deal. How about that?
So it's really worth trying.
Yeah, like let's do something Postal. The comment tracks are like a wake-up call. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Blood-drenched execution.
Any DLCs for the game this June? Well, it's not exactly a question for us, so just stay tuned to our Hyperstrange social media, and Steam, I suppose, will be some more news about it there. So yeah, that's I think that the most I can say for this given moment. So yeah, like about the music, about the sounds, because when we come across something that's interesting and like sound-wise, we'll also speak about it. So there is this a bit controversial story. I don't know how much of it I can reveal, so I'll try to be as politically correct as I can. So there is this Mexican guy, these Mexican beings, and at first they were supposed not to be Mexicans, but like different guys. But then again, it was so incorrect, I say, that even Running with Scissors guys just told us to tone it down a bit. So that's the most I can say about it. So for now, so yeah. Now, were you inspired by some metal bands or game OSTs? On the cyanide, I love the P-Videos OST, thanks. Reminds me a little of Mech's original OST for Painkiller in the best possible ways. In the best way possible, of course. Yeah, cool, thanks. Actually, when it comes to metal parts or like strictly metal inspirations, I think Kacper will maybe expand a little on it. I'll just grab a water in the meantime.
I can't say that Painkiller's OST was strictly an inspiration for me, but I sure was listening a lot to its soundtrack in the times when the game came. So I believe it was 2004 or 5, something like that. And for young metalhead, let's say, at these times it was really cool thing that there is a game with a heavy metal soundtrack. So there was something else. 1 minute.
Did you ever
it's
listen?
hard to focus on
Did you ever listen to Megadeth? Did you?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, believe it or not, me too.
I remember that I was playing a cover of Megadeth's song Symphony of Destruction, I believe, with my current bandmate. So yeah, I was about 11 or something like that, and we were starting a garage band and we were playing Symphony of Destruction. Of course, not on just died. Not on any expensive amps or something like that, but we just plugged the guitar to old radio, and the distortion came from a too hot signal for the radio. So
not like amp itself, but just like clipped signal.
Yeah. So yeah.
I shoot dicks for
That was funny, really funny times. And about other inspirations, I can't say exactly like, oh, this song was inspired by that band or that song. It's all the metal inspirations, all the metal music you ever listened to. So you can easily say that at least I know Meshuggah, for example.
Yeah, I think you oftentimes refer Meshuggah to like a pinnacle of metal music, like in your opinion, from what I know. So,
not only for heavy grooves and extremely low tunings, but also because of experimental approach to music.
and the tonality, like
the
ambiguous tonality. That's
and this is something what really grinds my gears.
Yeah. So the next gentleman asks question. Grzegorz Michalek, do you know this guy? I think I do. What was the most difficult sound effect to record for Postal? Sound effect? Well,
we didn't need to record that, but there were some troubles with voiceovers for that ladies.
Well, for me, maybe you can expand it for a little, but I don't know if you noticed, the game has a lot of farts in it. So farts, puking, like one of the most challenging for me thing for me is that there is a monster and they say, look, this guy will be puking and shitting at the same time. So you had to make a sound that's puke and turd at the same time, right? That's how do you approach it? What do? You mix it, you sum it. It's, you can just like layer two sounds like puking and shitting at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So you have to go clever.
Sounds easy.
Yeah, you have to go clever with so you have to go clever with these sounds. So we used vocoder, the device that's used for making these robotic sounds and vocals, and it has two parts: the input and the carrier and the modulator. And the carrier was the sound of shitting, and the modulator was the sound of puking. So that's and it turned out pretty well. So actually, when I play Postal like a while after releasing it, I can't tell if it's puke or shit or both or none of these. So
Yeah, and it sounds like straight from the toilet, so
yeah,
I think it works really well.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's supposed to be. So hopefully it does have a DLC soon, because I love the game, and the ending field there's like something missing. I don't know. I mean, maybe that might be the thing. I don't know. You look so cute together. Are you guys a couple? Well, I am taken, unfortunately. So no go this time. But who knows? Things change. So bless the microphone. Well, is it good or is it not? Because again, we don't really have a monitoring here. So yeah, maybe you can hint us if something's not okay.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was talking about the farting, so sound effects.
Yeah, any difficult sound effects?
Yeah, about farting. Yes, that's a good question. I mean, look,
something more.
It might the question about how's the recording of farts. Well, actually, there's one thing I'd like I have to say, and it might be disappointing, but we didn't record the farts. I went for farts from sound libraries, and believe me, there are sound libraries with farts. But again, we didn't we didn't use them as they were. We had to process them a bit. So yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, so the farts were very clean, with no reverb, with no unnecessary artifacts. So they're very well prepared for further processing. They were adding a lot of bass, compression, OTT, and just like you put it in game, and if the fart sounds too weak, then it's just too weak. You have to tweak it a bit more. So there is this Corona lover guy, the one that farts.
Fart demon and
yes, fart demon
sketches.
Exactly, and I find myself really proud of how he turned out. So it's the best fart I designed in my life, and who knows, maybe I'll I may never have any
once in a lifetime.
Yes, opportunities to design better farts. So exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's really a strange thing to be proud about.
Yeah, exactly. So I love your game and music. Thanks. It really means a lot to us. Been insecure about pretty much all we do in music. Where can I listen to the soundtrack from Postal? Pretty much anywhere you want, but the best place you can do it is just step on over to Hyperstrange Records, the exact channel this you're watching this live on. We'll be talking a bit more about further plans for Hyperstrange Records near the end of the stream, but you will find music for Postal Brain Damage here on this channel, and you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Bandcamp, and in just a few minutes we'll be providing some keys for Postal soundtrack. So we'll be dropping 2 keys every few minutes, or like every 15 or 20 minutes, and so maybe if you're quick enough, you'll be able to snatch them. Same for P. Yes, I mean, well, P is much easier to replicate, because all you have to do is you have to just pour water into the toilet and it sounds like pee, because believe it or not, the sound doesn't convey like the substance of
the
pee
flavor.
as much. Yes, I mean, with farting you have to have these actual farts. In case of pee, you just have to pour water into the toilet, and that kind of sounds like pee. So we did it. We recorded a few. We took a few from the libraries as well. So with pee, it's not as pee sound design is not as complicated as fart sound design. So yeah, I mean, I don't think many sound designers have a lot of
challenges like that.
Something has to sound like fart or or puke or pee at the same time. So yeah.
I missed one TNT and
Yeah.
didn't remember where was it.
Apple is very curious about it. Oh yes, I mean that's the perfect opportunity for them. So who came up with the idea to have a song in Japanese, and how did you guys approach that track?
That was
That's a
quite,
question for you, and let's expand a little on it. So
yeah, that was quite funny because the time from the idea to the final result was rather short. We just had a brief that the final boss fight for Postal is something like anime mech fights. So yeah, it was brief to make it sounding a little Japanese, let's say.
yeah, and so we picked Leo Iwasaki for
Yeah. We just I proposed that we can use some vocals and presented the idea to the board, let's say.
yeah to the guys who make decisions.
Yeah, and they accepted it, and there were only a step to find someone who.
Who will sing?
Yeah. Who will sing and write the lyrics?
Oh yeah,
it's important
yeah,
too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I composed the song, just the sketches and melody sketch for vocals, and found Leo Iwasaki. I don't remember exactly where, but that doesn't matter. And I sent him the brief for the track, some lyrics ideas, like you can say something, you can write something like that in the lyrics, like
So you can just go stupid with the lyrics.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
Awesome.
I don't remember exactly. It was about 2 weeks, and we had lyrics written and vocals recorded.
Yeah, very quick. Like
Yeah, so Leo was really.
yeah, he did it really
Really
quick.
quick.
He did a great job, and just his vocals is the main thing about this song.
He
So-
nailed it
yeah,
totally.
so he did a great job on the track, and yeah, that's it. Is this workshop or an actual level? It's a too complicated question for me. I'm not so smart to answer that question.
Once
properly.
again, what question?
Is this workshop or an actual level? It is actual level from the game.
It's
from what I
third
understand
level.
from the question.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unleash your postage. Is what you're doing right now, aren't you? I mean, again, how about, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll declare to do something stupid in a while, but we'll see. Now,
Booyah, bitches.
oh yeah, so we can see that Wojtek probably posted that Postal Brain Damage team has all the answers. And okay, how about we will post some keys? So let me have them. Let me just copy them over. And let's do it. Yeah, I think I'll have to. I think I'll let Wojtek do this, because it would be nice if he could help us with it, because I think I'm not. Anyway, I'll just leave it to him. So I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, and we keep playing.
You filthy liberal! Ow! Now, is that
I was
pronounced
wondering
gib
if I should
or
play on a higher difficulty level to make it a little more exciting, let's say, but nah.
Yeah, guys. So if you want to switch us to a different level, just go ahead, and if you have any questions specifically about you know, a given biome or a level or anything in particular, we'll do our best to answer the question. Let me just get the keys rolling.
Yeah, and what about the codes?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Starting? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
in a minute. In a minute.
Giblet, I hardly know it.
Okay, going the right way.
Hasta la pasta, my dear.
It's like looking in a really fucked up mirror.
Nice.
And done.
Okay.
Yep, so the keys are coming right up. So
The chairman
hold
is
on
back.
for a minute or two. Again, it's the first time we're streaming, so there are a lot of moving parts we have to take care of, and believe me, it's more difficult than you might expect. Unless you're streaming, then
and it's
you know it.
difficult for such old people.
Yes,
are us.
exactly, and just single-threaded people, because as I can see, Kacper, while he's playing, he struggles to speak, and I do the same thing. So, like, if I focus on one thing, it's just a single thing I can do, like one thing at a time, not more. So,
Yeah, but we're trying our best.
yes, we're trying our best. Exactly. Exactly so. Okay, let's go back to the chat.
I did you.
Okay, gentlemen, apart from the music for Postal, have you written anything else in terms of game music? Oh boy, yes, we did. I mean, I'm not sure if it's appropriate for us to talk much about it here on Postal, because this is focused on Postal, but yes, we did a few games already, and we have a few games waiting in the line, so yes, we're basically composers and sound designers, so like in short, Kacper is more like a symphonic acoustic guy, and I'm more into button pushing and electronic music and things like that, so so we pretty much do like many different soundtracks in many different genres. But then again, I think let's just focus on the stream itself, or Postal in here, because that's why we're here. So let's focus on it. But if you want to know more about us, specifically me and Kacper, just type in Ivory Tower Soundworks in Google and you'll quickly find us. So yeah. Seems like a workshop is what we're going for anniversary. Hopefully Hyperstrange keeps DLC soon. We'll be patiently waiting. I'm patient. I'm waiting as well. So yeah, but then again, it's like not sure how much I can tell on the stream itself. What is your favorite level from the game? Do you have a strong opinion?
Surely not strong.
Well, I think I like the Dusk Star the most. I think I mean all the levels are really exceptional. Really, I mean it might be a cliche answer, but that's my opinion. But I think if I would have to choose, the one that I like the most is the Dusk Star. So that's what I like the most. It really has this Star Wars vibe, and you know, it's just when I think of Postal, you know, I have a Dust Star in front of my eyes when I think of it.
By the way, it was interesting to make clear references in music to, as you said, the level with Star Wars vibe. The music should have Star Wars vibe too, so it was really fun to make those references to James Bond and other level. To maybe my favorite level is I don't remember the name now, but the level with
Which one?
with mental hospital.
Oh, the Asylum.
Asylum, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really love this let's say gothic vibe there. Really like that kind of Dracula
Yes.
flavor.
That's one of my favorites too. Exactly, like all these vines you have, like these twisted figures, like the few things from Thief games, which we both love. By the way, we do very different music, like in solo projects, but the common denominator that we have about the music is we really do love music from Thief games. I mean Thief, the Dark Project, Thief 2, the Metal Age, and Thief 3, the Deadly Shadows. And and like Eric Brocius's work, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, I don't know. But the guy who was behind the music and the sound in the Thief games, like first three Thief games. Yep. And and that's what I was talking about, because I mentioned Eric Brocius, but I was
that level, Asylum level vibe, I guess.
Yes. Oh yes. In the Asylum level, you have these things, like for example, there's this optical illusion that you think you have the door that are very far from you, but actually the corridor just diminishes in size, and there's this funny optical illusion that's taken exactly from Constantine's mansion in Thief the Dark Project. So that's
but
cool. When you play it and when you play Thief the Dark Project, you say, dang.
But you mean Asylum inside, and I was talking about Asylum outside. Yeah,
courtyard.
Asylum courtyard. Yeah.
Yes, which is great as well. Of course.
Yeah, and that Dracula vibe and Gothic vibe was about that level, not the Asylum itself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just wanted to say what I like.
I missed two hostiles.
That's not good.
Not good.
You have to improve.
Okay, just. Let's go back to the menu.
Any reason why Corey is the main postal dude and Rick is the alternate dude when in Paradise Lost it was vice versa? That's a good question again. Well, look, we are the music and sound guys, and these decisions were... I'm not even sure if I'm aware of all the decisions. I would like to, say, but I really don't. Maybe you do know. I don't, really. I mean... Really, I don't. I have to prepare better next time for streaming, so we'll make sure we'll try to know more answers about it.
I know there were a lot of opinions that other words. Some players were really happy that Rick get his good postal game to be voiced by. So
possibly.
maybe it's something like that. Okay, we can play definitions of insanity, and it's the level I mentioned.
What's the music who took the longest time to make?
Welcome home.
That's a good question too, because all the tracks we made were, well, actually we're kind of under pressure here, and actually we didn't actually finish the few of the tracks that the updated soundtracks that's available on Steam and Bandcamp and pretty much everywhere else now is all the versions that we didn't have time to properly finish and process and just compose when before the initial release date of Postal. And which one was the longest? All of them were done real quick, but I think can you tell which one was the longest to make? Which took the most time to make? I don't know.
We started from the beginning, and as far as I remember, there were the most iterations were for the first level and the third level and the first three levels, let's say. So that's the Sims vibe, the first level, then in prison, and then in T-Day. and these were the tracks
which took the longest. But actually, just to sort of like give you the picture of how it looked like on our end, we had to be quick about the soundtrack. So again, I learned a lot of how to make your musical decisions that will matter in the long run, because once the game's released, you cannot just change everything in the soundtrack, and so you have to make your decisions that will work, and you don't really have a lot of time to review them.
And I'm used to record when I'm recording the guitars. Usually I'm just recording raw sketches, and for a final recording I'm restringing the guitar,
so
set
you record
the levels
demos in a way.
Yeah, in a way, mock-ups, something like that. So when usually I'm recording it once again when I'm done with the sketches and everything is accepted and fine. But this time I often recorded already the final takes, let's say.
Yeah, so actually, again, like making music for games, movies, and so on, it's like a journey. You have to, like, every game has a different. I don't know. You cannot say. I mean, the problem is not a proper word. It's like different challenges you have to face. And in case of Postal, for me, it was the time constraints. So I hated to have not as much, time as I would prefer. But then again, it's like making music is like a job like any other. So. There are challenges, there are things you like about it, and there are things that are difficult to handle. That's it. That's the way it is. Okay, let's see. So there's an important question here. Hi guys, is there any chance of a physical release of the Postal soundtrack? Well, and this is the question.
The question on time.
Yes, the question on time, because, in a way, I don't think I'm authorized to confirm that, yes, there will be a soundtrack, but perhaps there's a very big chance that Postal will have a final release. But then again...
you are so mysterious.
Oh yeah, so mysterious. But it's not the only thing about vinyl release. There will be something. There's a bit more into it than just vinyl. So I think yes, but then again, I don't hold me accountable for this, because we're doing our best in Hyperstrange label to make it happen. But believe me, it's not that easy to make vinyls basically.
Internet remembers.
Yeah, internet remembers and then
forget.
Yes, and I'm done now, right? No, what I'm saying is probably yes, and. We started Hyperstrange label to, so that we can release music for indie games basically, and do it this way, so that it's not only music on, streaming services, but also physical releases and so on. So I think yes, there is a very high chance of Postal soundtrack being released on physical, to have physical releases. I think so. But then again, please don't hold me accountable for it, because it's just our plans. And again, I'm saying this because there is a real high probability for it to happen, but
just a probability
it's
still.
Not, yes, but it's a probability still. Yes, exactly. So, were there any scrapped ideas or whole songs that didn't work out because they didn't fit in? Yeah, there is. Well, again, we were on the under the time pressure so that all the decisions we had to take had to be pretty much end up in the final game. But there is one track that I think, and it's still a mystery for me until this day, how did it turn out?
It did make to the final game, but.
Yeah, exactly. It did the final goal, but it was not in the initial soundtrack. At first, is the
Fluffy Friends Festival Ufan.
Yeah, I did this track, but I can't remember the name of it. No, I mean, I can, but it's difficult for me to pronunciate it. Because as you can hear as well, English is not my primary language. So what I'm saying is that this track, what was the question? I'm a single-threaded fan, so once I start talking, I just lose track of what I was saying. Oh, so it was almost scrapped. I mean, I was so embarrassed by this track that I asked not to include it in the Postal soundtrack. But we've noticed that it was really demanded, and it was, and people were asking on ripped, in comment section in the ripped soundtracks, why is it not in the OST, and why it's not in the official soundtrack, and and I was really amazed that people actually like it. I was thinking that it's repetitive, that it's not really what I would expect in a game level, but again, to my big surprise, a lot of people liked it, and it's a mystery for me till this day. Why is it so? So we refined it a bit before the updated release of Postal soundtrack, and there it is. So it was almost scrapped, almost I was thinking
make it to the game, but
it did make it to the game, but I was again so embarrassed with it that just we're thinking that we're gonna leave it out, and that's it. Okay. What rock and metal bands do you listen to on daily basis, or do you think both genres have been stagnant for many years now? So, I might not look like one, but I do listen to like a variety of music, and I do listen to metal music too as well. I'm not a current guy when it comes to metal. I'm more into classics when digging for ideas and for music in general. So I cannot really say about what's the current state of metal music. Kacper will say a lot about it because he's very current. He has a metal band, so yeah.
Hey, where are you going with that?
He's much more.
I'm more in.
Yes, you're more in. So when I listen to metal music on daily basis, I don't know. I do, and I know it's somebody asks would read what books do you read, and you say let me think. It means that somebody doesn't read books at all. But I think I do. But I just have to. Again, I'm a single-threaded man. So let Kacper reply and just dig my mind and try to say what do I listen to, and but yeah,
now I see that streamers' work is quite hard to play
and talk at the same time. Yeah. So go ahead and talk about metal music,
maybe
current
a
state.
break. So the question was about current metal bands.
Yes, what do you listen to daily? What metal music do you listen to daily? And what's your what do you think about the current state of the metal music nowadays?
That's the trick. I do not listen to much music recently.
Yeah,
but yeah, just kidding. But
well, actually, if I just interrupt you for a minute, the metal music I listen to is basically the soundtracks for games like Doom Eternal, of course. As much metal as it is, and I also like the tracks that have some electronic music in it. Like, for example, there's the Cell Dwellers album called self-titled Cell Dweller. It's not metal, there are things that are more or less metal in there, but like that. And as cringy as it might sound, I did listen to metal, this new metal thing, once when it was popular when I was in not in high school, but the stage of education before it. I can't remember that. I don't really know how it was gymnasium, but in
middle
Poland.
school.
Middle school, exactly. So all these cringy things like Limp Bizkit and what else? Linkin Park, Kennedy soundtrack, and like all these things. Again, that's enough. I don't think I'll have to, that's.
Yeah, but you mentioned about heavy metal being stagnant. Hard to say. I believe that there is a lot of fresh and good bands, but there are also many new bands which are not so fresh and not so
Straight to heaven.
not so fond of exploring new things. So yeah, there is a lot of just recording even old school music on purpose. But yeah, there is a lot of interesting bands. I don't know some names.
But I think it's general. So I mean, the dark age of music was like between 2008 and 2015, but then again, when people started releasing music on YouTube channels, they were getting around the labels and so on. Like the music, both in metal, in like many different genres of music, it was kind of like more distributed to the people, and I think that the dark age of like popular music ended like after 2015, and in many genres like today in metal in many different genres you can find a lot of cool music, because now the labels don't decide what you have to listen to, but you just look you just discover music on your own, and I think it's if you know where to look and if you try hard to find music that new music that to listen to, you'll find it. And then again, I'm not too current in metal music outside from game soundtracks, but I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of new things.
Yeah, you know the drill. When someone is asking you about something,
yeah, exactly. Your mind goes blank. But if like in any other circumstances, I would say, oh, I listen to this and that, and that's true.
Yeah, but there are more avant-garde, let's say, black metal Polish bands. It could be interesting for some. Something like Morove or non-Opus Dei. It was really interesting and quite fresh music. Of course, sometimes freshness comes from blending together different sub-genres of metal, so it's not always groundbreaking, but yeah, it could be interesting and fresh this way too. So
yeah, exactly. Like I think the same way. Like you can find things out there, you just have to look for them.
Yeah.
But probably the guys want us to recommend something that we're inspired by. So again, in case of Postal, it's more to I think it's more a question to you, I guess. But okay, I think maybe we can elaborate on it a little further in a while. But let's go to other questions.
Praise the Lord and pass the grenades.
Did you guys already know about Postal series before composing the soundtrack of Postal Bring Damage? If yes,
wouldn't be hard to not to know.
Yeah, like come on. I mean, of course we knew it. Like I mean, when we learned that we'll be making music for working on making sounds and music for Postal Bring Damage, it's like dang, like just like. Legendary franchise, and everybody in the studio, not only like the composer, but everybody who was working on the project was like really happy. And then it's and I'm pretty sure in a convoluted way that I think it will be something that we remember till the end, basically. Like
I believe that I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, like of course we did. I actually played Postal, and when I was a kid, Postal 1 came out. I think it was in the 90s, I'm sure, but I can't remember if it was like 96 or 98. 98. Nah, it was before 98 because 98 was Unreal and Quake, and it was before it, I think. And so it was like a really controversial game when you were shooting, like basically civilians. The police was coming over. You had to shoot them. They were like, there were people maimed with their, intestines spilled out. And when my parents look at it, say, "You cannot play it. You cannot. It's just too violent." And in a way, they were right because once I played Postal 1 like a year ago, I was being a grown-up man. I might not look like fun, but I am. It was really shocking. Like for games in the 90s, But anyway, so of course we knew Postal, and then again, if somebody would told me in
Get over
like
here.
20 years you'll be making music for Postal, Brain Damage, the successful spin-off of Postal, then just like it's surreal for me, basically. So of course we knew about Postal. I played Postal 2, and I mean, who didn't? So of course, so of course we knew about Postal.
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah, I knew about the game, but wasn't too fond of FPSs, let's say, and yeah, I even had the game. It was added to a video games magazine, and I believe one day I tried it, but as far as I remember, it didn't work on my PC. So yeah, that was
So
my adventure with Postal.
The technology stopped you.
Yeah, but I watched it on YouTube and know quite good about what this game is about. Oh.
Yep. So the Macaron Fest 24 said that it had an unsettling atmosphere and audio samples. I mean, you probably mean Postal 1. Yeah, that's the point. So it was that's the because we were thinking of what to tell you really about the Postal in case we'll be having no questions at all, and we were ready for it as well. But thanks, Aloni. It's really nice that you ask questions, and it's really it's really cool. I didn't really expect that. But we were thinking about the tone of Postal games. Has it changed over the years? Look, like Postal Brain Damage is like silly toilet humor, like the violence is cartoonish, and again, it's not, well, it is disturbing in many ways, but not too much. So, but look at Postal 1, like it was really serious.
Really creepy.
Yeah, like the sound effects, the menu, the music in the menu. Damn. So yeah. Do you listen to BDOs in your free time sometimes, or can you really, because it worked for so that you can really stand it?
Listen to what?
To Postal Brain Damage soundtrack. Did you listen to it?
Please.
Yeah.
No, seriously, and I suppose it's the case with many
composers.
Yeah. When you are working for something for so long, I mean, we said that it wasn't so long in the Postal case,
yes.
but anyway, when you are working on something for so long, you have nothing to explore there. Where once you finished it, you just know everything about this music because you made it. So like, there is nothing you can find there. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. Like for me, listening to my own music is like smelling my own farts, basically.
So it's fun, but
it's fun, but I don't tell nobody I do it. What I'm saying is that actually every artist who makes music sounds like not only in sound, like in art, like any art form. You have very complex relationship with what you did because you can see a lot of flaws in it, and just as Kacper said, there is nothing to explore. You made it, so you learn nothing from it. You may, for example, use it as a reference and analyze it, what you did wrong, what mistakes will you avoid next time, and like in this regard. But I don't really think I listen to. People often ask me if I listen to my own music. I don't. If I do, it's only for the purpose of
checking the quality. Let's
yes,
say.
exactly. Like all the emotions I had while creating this music, all the decisions I took, it's gone. And it's like you view your own music, and I guess it's the same with all the art. So if you do if you paint, if you do pretty much else, you view your own creation in a very distorted way. And I don't think it really is pleasant, especially in case of postal brain damage. And I think the reflection of it is this, for example, this music from the convention, Fluffy Friends of Fun. Again, yes, I'm sorry. Again, I'm pronunciating it.
Sorry for correcting you.
That's okay. That's what you're here for. For me, it's not as awful once we have corrected it. But for me, it was like so bad that we didn't really want to release it. And it's one of the most listened track on the Spotify, YouTube, and all this. Like I think it's one of the most listened to compared to other tracks on Spotify. So see, you don't really have an objective way of viewing your own music once you finish it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening to my own songs from time to time, but mostly to find out that I improved and I see many flaws in it, or the other way, that I feel that I'm listening to some song and think that okay, that is nice, that went out pretty neat, and I'm not ashamed of it now.
Exactly. Now
but often it's the opposite.
Yeah, that's true. And the funny thing is that once you don't listen to your own music for a year, 2 years, you even forget how your own music sounded.
Yeah, and then it's interesting.
Then it's more, yes, then
sometimes.
It's interesting because some things might surprise you. Oh, this thing turned out pretty well, and some things turned out like what was I thinking? While doing this song, So actually, if you make your own music, just don't listen to it for a while. You have to rest for it and just wipe it out from your memory, and then once you can kind of rediscover it, it actually has any value. So that's how I approach it. Question: if you could change anything about the music for Postal now, what would it be? Maybe a bigger music budget on record, or a choir catalog like in Doom Eternal? Well, if we would had such a luxury of hiring a choir or like having a bigger budget, then it's a whole different game. Like different approach. Like we would plan everything different, but music, as disappointing as it might sound, is a cost as well. So you have to not only do your job well, but you have to fit in the budget. So if you had a bigger budget, then would make different assumptions about the music at the beginning, even.
One thing that comes to my mind is after some time I found many of the exploring tracks too repetitive. I mean, there was a guideline, let's say, to make the tracks about 3 minutes long, but I suppose the levels are so long that it quickly becomes too repetitive, and yeah, that's something I can think of, but it's also hard to say that I don't know that every level needs 2 tracks or 10-minute tracks, maybe some adaptive system like adding some layers to an ambient track, maybe something like that, but nothing too
but then
too
again
precise.
But then again it's difficult to estimate at the beginning, because typically while composing music for a game, you have to come up with a system of how it will be played back, whether it's going to be in layers and stems, so that in different circumstances some stems play, some don't, and things like that. So it's up to you to come up with the logic of music, or how it's going to be played back typically when making music for a game. And oftentimes you just can't tell what's the best solution until the very end of the game, because you might as well at the start say, okay, let's have layers. When there are more opponents, you have more layers of, or like a more twisted version of the track. If you're just starting out your fight, you have these lighter versions of combat music. But then again, it turns out that it's so difficult to reflect it in the game mechanics that it makes no sense. It's unclear. Like, you play it and you don't really know why the music changed. So oftentimes it's sort of like interconnected with what's happening in the game, and that's once you see your game, you might change things, but you might decide you would change things if there would be time to do it, or just opportunity to do it. But then again, it's often way too late. But then again, you learn it with experience. So, and in making music is learning
will be
all
better
the time.
next time.
Yes. So exactly. So what would I change? One thing I would change, because I'm the electronics guy, what I would change is I learned a lot while working on Postal and some other titles, how to blend electronic music with guitars. And believe me, it's not easy, because like guitars are big both in stereo, and they fill up a lot of spectrum. And I came up with, again, with learning, educating myself, and trial and error, with many ways of how to blend these sounds together, so that you can hear both electronic instruments and guitars, and so they don't mask each other. So if I would do it all over again, I would have different assumptions while recording guitars with Kacper and blending electronic music with it, so that it would be. So we could fit both of those more into the music. But then again, believe me, it's one of the most difficult things, and I had to I had to do in processing music, basically, like in recording, composing, and processing music. So that's what I would change. But then again, at that point, I just didn't really have the impulse to develop it this way. So now I know it, but again, I will not. I'll do it better next time. But back then I just couldn't.
I can add that that was the thing bothering you from the beginning, and one of the first things we did together was a cover of Doom's soundtrack. The only thing they fear
is you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was one of the first cases when
we
there were a problem, let's say, with mixing guitars with electronics, and so
you can find. By the way, you can find it on Spotify if you type in Ivory Tower Soundworks. It has almost 2 million plays, I think. So it's like
mind-boggling.
Not understandable for me. How did it happen? We didn't promote this track, and it's
and it was quite fun that Piotr insisted that we should get it to Spotify, and I was like, okay, we can, but what for?
Yeah.
No one will listen to it anyway.
Yeah.
And a year later,
I
just went on.
He went on
Spotify.
To Spotify, and he says, "Man, there are like over 1 million plays." And what? Did you count the zeros right? Are you sure about this? And,
yeah, that was quite fun.
So it is. I think we'll be dropping some keys in a minute, so I'll be let just hold on, and there'll be like 2 keys dropping in, but so. And by the way, in this case, I just I understood how combining these 2 things, like electronic music and guitars, is difficult, and you learn it over time, and it's difficult. But then again, it's a skill, right? So you can learn it and you can use it afterwards. Question: will you sign my petition? Of course. Of course, anytime. Once you meet us, then of course just bring your petition, and we'll just sign it.
No, I've patched all my insecurities.
When can we expect Polish dubbing? Again, it's a question more for publishing than us. When they tell us do, we will. But then again,
monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, exactly. So, but can't tell.
We are not the executives.
can my dad be the French dub of Postal Dude's? Of course. Why would you suppose otherwise? I mean, we're just send his portfolio over to us. If he doesn't have one, just make him make one. That's it. Let's go. Now, really, again, these are not our decisions, but it's not. It's possible. I don't see any reason for now why not. So yes, in short, but these are not my decisions. So yeah. No, seriously, when are you going to work on dubbing? That's a good question. But you think you should look for answers in Hyperstrange channel, not Hyperstrange Records. Again, if I really knew, I would tell you, but I just really don't know. Sorry, really. Current boss fight track, inspired by Primus, or is it in my head? Of course it is.
1 minute, because it's quite hot here.
Yes, and again, he's a single-threaded man like me, so...
Just okay.
So in short, yes, but Kacper will expand on it just in a second.
So the question was, is this a reference to Primus?
Yes, is current fight song inspired by Primus?
Yeah, and at the same time, I really forgot about it, because it's a clear inspiration from a precise band for a precise track. So yes, I'm a huge Primus fan, or maybe not fan. I wasn't on I don't know, live gig and things like that, but I really love their music, and it's really something else, something you can get inspired easily, because it's so well played, so well crafted, and at the same time it's not strictly metal music, so you can find a lot of things which you can't find in, let's say, ordinary metal bands. And yes, and it was a reference to a current boss fight, of course, at the end of the first chapter, and then it was intended. It was intended, and I can say more that I was happy that I read some YouTube comments, and the funny one was the track name on official YouTube official soundtrack release was Release the Karen, I believe, and someone in the comments on YouTube Rip said Karen was a race car driver.
Yes, I remember
so
that.
yeah, I love that title.
Yeah. I have a glorious idea for the question. I'm not sure if it's a question. Let's find out. I mean, I just read the first part of the comment, so I don't know if it's a question, but let me read it. So, I have a glorious idea for a new Postal track. It's a country with a bunch of elements of shoegaze and with brutal death metal drumming. Also, there's a choir of penguins. What you think? Well, that's something.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that will fit into the
totally Iron.
Yeah, into Postal genre.
I don't know how to find a penguin choir, but
well, if there would be a level that would reflect this feeling captured by your idea, then we're good to go, basically.
Like secret base on our
I actually love shoegaze, like from the shoegaze from the second half of the 90s. Like what my favorite, I think, is I can't remember the name of the band. There's a lady with red hair. Maybe you could just tell me.
Google.
No, I will not. Either it will pop into my head, or maybe somebody will tell me, but dang, they had the song Lady Killer, for example. I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, I'll be thinking of it, and maybe I will pop into my head, but let's see.
I was listening to Alcest. It was French black metal shoegaze. They called it later black gaze, I believe.
But
Something like that.
Can you have metal and shoegaze at the same time? Like
It's
seriously?
perfect. It
Compatible.
perfectly blends well together.
Okay, fine. So I guess the music structures and then compositions have some like common things that you can match them.
Yeah, you have the wall of sound, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
often in classical shoegaze bands you have a similar vibe, let's say, but that melancholic,
Single
sad,
sound, single
disco.
chord.
Yeah. So it fits black metal very well, I suppose.
Okay.
And the main difference are vocals,
Oh yes, of course.
usually.
Yeah.
But Alcest had, as far as I remember, also clean vocals, so it's not so obvious.
Gone
Yeah.
like wind. If you're saying about this shoegaze band, no, I think it's not. Yes, Lush, Lush. This band. I was listening for it for a while, but that's that. Yeah. So. I looked away for a second. Yeah,
You know, I suppose it's not so fun to watch on medium. Maybe I will go a little higher in difficulty level. I haven't played that mode yet, you know?
You didn't. So you make music for it and you didn't play it, right?
Yeah, because the music is the same as...
I know. I'm
Blah, blah, blah,
trolling
blah.
you. I wanted you to start, explaining yourself.
Okay, let's switch them up and... Okay,
How
let's
about
go
cringe
for-
level guys? Do the cringe levels you like, are they over the top or in check? Like, what's the cringe level? The fastest alt tab of the America.
Okay, that was a good decision because I'm 30 seconds into the game and being half
Yeah, not good.
half bar.
Not good. But I think you have
It
some-
wasn't meant to be good.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so I think we'll be finishing soon. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and post them. We'll again try to answer them the best we can, and just go with it. But a few words about Hyperstrange label. So we have founded Hyperstrange label, and mostly we'll be focusing on tracks on indie games that we either develop or publish. So if we will be able to, we'll be posting soundtracks from various indie games in there. We'll be posting soundtracks and releasing soundtracks from the games we do not develop or publish, if the developers will be kind enough to just to strike a deal with us and publish them. So that's that. So stay tuned. If you're into indie music as much as I am, then Hyperstrange label channel is the way to go. So just subscribe it and let's see how it unfolds. Basically, how much of music can we get across, and that's how it will basically unfold. That's we're just starting out, and we wanted to stream to see if actually you're into listening about the music from games. So I don't think we'll be the only guys who will be streaming here on YouTube and then talking about music. But you have to start somewhere, so why not? And yeah, just basically we'll be listening to you and trying to stream or talk about things that matter to you. So yeah, that's how we'll be going. That's what we'll be doing.
Analyze the blood
So
splatters.
excuse my English again. I just if I'm focused on talking, then it just like I have a limited.
They pay us for making music, not talking.
Yeah, I have limited processing power when it comes to languages. So once I grow tired with speaking a foreign language, then just I make mistakes and just talk silly things. So.
Dakka.
So we'll give you a few seconds, maybe you can
Die.
again.
I can die in that.
Yeah,
time.
maybe I can wait till you die at least. No, what I'm saying is we can answer a few Twitter questions that we had along the way. So maybe we'll just look at the Twitter questions that I had noted. So let me do this. But I think that like the Twitter questions were pretty similar to what you asked in here. So we basically answered them.
Number one.
So but let me see. Yeah, about the question about like from Master 2% about the scrapped ideas. Again, it was not too much we could scrap because of time limits we had. So that's the point. What level was the most challenging to write music for? Buffet asks. Oh, that's a question we didn't really answer yet. So what do you think? The most difficult for me, the fluffy festival of fun, because the guy who makes the most decisions, Zorak, the lead programmer and I think project manager of the entire Postal game, he said it has to be silly, it has to sound like synthwave, and it has to be catchy, and it just has to be a good track. And I think how right, and so this one was the most this was the most problematic term. But then again, I talked about it so much already on this stream, so there's not much to say about it. So, and I think it was finished like 2 days before the release of the game. It was the track I was procrastinating the most on, but had to be released. So there's no way. I mean, you can put it away. You can procrastinate on it, but you have to get to it eventually, right? There's no other way. And the question was about from Neuro the X Slayer. Have you been inspired by any of the music from the first 2 Postal games? Inspired? No, because as you can see, like Postal has a different vibe than Postal 2. I mean, it's sort of like between Postal and Postal, like the original Postal and Postal 2, but I don't know.
There was a big difference between 1 and Postal 2. So
exactly. So like, I don't really think we were inspired, but because we had really like specific, because you might think that a lot of decisions are made by composers, but there are some constraints and some general, limitations and assumptions that we have to obey, given by the developers, by the art directors, and that's what you have to do. Like, you can do pretty much everything you want, but in the constraints.
In the frames.
Yes, in the frames, exactly. So, if they would tell us go ahead and be inspired by
Postal 1, let's say,
or 2, we would. But then again, like, I think Postal Brain Damage is different in a way that it's even more humorous, even more silly than like 2 previous games. The times have changed.
For example, you don't have a Mexican Private Ryan in Postal 2.
Yeah, exactly. So just it's a different game basically. So we were not inspired by it. But then again, it's we admire music for previous Postal games. So it's like we're not inspired by them. But yeah, it's
aware of.
Yes, aware. Oh, yeah, that's a good word. Yep. Any more questions? Chances on let's see. And this game gave me Doom vibes. Really?
how it comes.
Yeah, how come? Right? How? Right? Yeah, like yeah. So it's really cool. You have these vibes because that's what we aim for, both musically and both in terms of developing the games, like for the rest of the team.
More for me.
Chances on a vinyl of the OST. Well, yes.
We already talked about
yes,
it.
we do. Maybe you have not watched the stream yet, but it is high probability of doing so. Again, I don't want to be held accountable for saying this, so I don't confirm it. But we're doing our best to make sure that Hyperstrange Records, the channel and basically the label that you're watching the stream, we try. I mean, we do our best to make it happen, but then again, it's more complicated and it involves much more than just like putting tracks in YouTube, Spotify. It's an investment basically. So it's like making vinyls is costly. So it's not that easy. It's a risk basically. So we're trying and we'll be doing our best to make it happen. But not all the decisions are ours. Actually, very few decisions are ours. So, is there a Spanish dub in Brain Damage? Again, it's more a question for publishing, I think.
And you guys in Spain are used to have your own language in media, I suppose.
Yes, and I think we'll be having EF, EIGS. So like, so probably yes. Which is like English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish. But then again, it's my assumption. It's not like I'm not too competent to answer. Just to confirm it. If there is no vinyl release, we need more key for the game then. So Wojtek, that's in the stream as well. We'll be posting, or maybe not, keys for Postal. I don't know. It depends on how long the stream will go on. If we cool down a bit and the questions that if there are no more questions, then probably will be finishing soon. So it's up to Wojtek. So. Stay tuned, maybe he will drop a key or two, or maybe not. So yeah. Okay, so you already answered. No habla español. Yeah, so you have to. For now, you have to stick to English. Yeah, guys. So I think we'll be finishing real soon. So let's have like just a few more minutes. If I'll see some questions, then I'll try my best to answer them.
No, I'm winning.
You don't want to end now, right? This might change real quick.
Okay.
See, we're winning.
Okay, that was not intended.
Yeah. So, like anything we'd like to add about Postal soundtrack, a lot to do in a short time span, a lot of challenging things we had to do, a lot of fun as well. So that's my recollection of making music for Postal Brain Damage.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. So thank you very much. I didn't really personally expect it to answer any questions.
To have
basically.
that much questions
yeah,
to answer.
It exceeded my expectations like twice. So big thanks for your questions. Again, asking questions means you care. If you care, it means that what we do matters. That's
everything
that's a cool
a
thing.
composer can ask for.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. So big thanks. Now, the one question I can see from the Necro Swenson: what was the policy on use of kickstarts for the percussion?
Once again?
What was the policy on use of the kickstarts for the percussion?
Kickstarts?
Yep. I don't think I understand. So maybe you could.
Can you use
enlighten
other
us.
words?
Yes. Yeah. Because.
Necro Swenson, I do not have an idea. What do you mean, kickstarts?
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe like the time or logic when the music kicks in. I'm not sure if I understand.
Ah, okay.
I
That
don't
would
know.
make sense, but
For the
Polynesian
percussion, but no, I don't know. I mean, I'm just too dumb to process this question. So
Yeah.
please and go ahead and explain if you're still there. Glad to be here and seeing the beautiful people who made those bangers while I was playing. Told you you're beautiful. You don't believe me. So thanks. I mean, that's all we basically ask for. You know, if what we do actually matters, if it makes the game better, and you know, just bang your head while playing. That's that. So cool.
Okay, Necro Swanson said, "Sorry, black metal joke."
Look, Metal Joe.
It looks like
are
I'm
supposed-
too little black metal
Yes,
to
you're
understand
supposed to
that joke.
understand
Sadly.
that, not me. I'm the Depeche Mode guy here, the metalhead. So, yeah. If BD ever gets a DLC, you guys should pitch a track with Polish vocals. If you have a Japanese vocals, it could be nice.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, like sure. Why not? I mean, we could pitch it to the decision makers. But yeah, let's see. Okay, guys. So let's wrap for today. Let's wrap it for today. And
Thanks for being with us.
yeah, like amazing stuff. Like if you have any questions, like if you have any ideas for where to go with our streams, who to invite for streaming, or like any ideas, any direction you'd like us to take Hyperstrange labels to, just go ahead and just contact us on social media, and yeah, basically let's take it to the next level, basically. So that's a good start, I think, and it's a like better start than actually I anticipated. So oh yeah, invite Zorak to stream. I will pay $3. If he agrees, I'll put a shoe on my head. So yeah. Okay, guys. So big thanks and see you around. So switch this bad boy off.